Hello, everyone, and welcome
Hey.
to the 9th episode of the Open Fort podcast. I'm Naturesbf. Joining me are my co-hosts Rens and Pheylop, and our special guest of the day, AceofSpades. AceofSpades, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Good. I'm doing really good. How you guys doing?
Doing quite all right. How about you?
All right.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Thanks. Yeah, pretty good.
So, at the start of all of our shows, Ace, I don't know if you've
Mhm.
seen, but we always ask our guest two questions. First of all, we ask them, how's your laddering been going? How's your streaming been going? How's your progress there? As well as, how do you pick your name? How do you pick the name Ace of Spades?
It's a song from Motorhead. Previously, I had another name, Spitfire, from another band. Just I'm lazy, so I just picked up a song name. That's it.
Okay.
No big deal. And my laddering is going pretty well. I have some problems playing on one ladder only because I wake up very late, so I play half of my day on EU, half of my day on NA. So I think I might be top 10 in both ladders, or maybe like 11th in EU and top 10 in NA. So that's what's going on. Just struggling with time zones.
Yeah, for everyone listening, Ace of Spades is a beast. Top 10 on both. Absolute
sure.
monster.
Not as good as
Sure.
Dark Hydra.
Pepper hands, dude. No one is.
That's a tall order. Anyway, Pheylop, Rens, what about you guys? How's your laddering and streaming been going?
I mean, I've climbed actually a bit on EU, so that's pretty good. I haven't been able to play a lot though. That's kind of been bothering me, but I have climbed a bit at least. And I played some PB today. Pretty fun. Oh, I'm looking forward to new patch. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of new things. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
I feel like I'm on one of those amusement park rides where it's like the slingshot and like you go like from here and it like shoots you up and then you drop down and you go back up and then like that's just like how I feel like my days go. Like it'll just be like 150 LP to 0 to 150 to 0 to 150. And then like now like they finally installed the patch or the fix where like you can just like fall out of Challenger into Diamond. So we'll see what happens. It might just be like Diamond 3 next week or something.
There's gonna be a lot of Smurfs, dude.
You want to
Yeah,
know the
that's
secret of gaining LP?
Well,
Yes.
tell
So-
us.
Yes.
I sometimes I pay attention to like what comps like other top ranked players are playing, like whoever's like in the first few positions, and then so when they get the new, you see people raising up in LPs, like they get 200, 300 LPs really fast in like 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
You see what comp they play, and then I go check a Korean stream, and they're playing the exact same thing. So pretty much it seems like all the top NA European players just go watch a Korean stream, pick whatever comp is the latest flavor of the month there, and then they just play it first, and they just don't tell anyone about it. That's pretty much what's going on. Like
I think-
I think the
I think-
Aatrox Ranger build, for example.
I don't think Hydra ever watches a Korean stream though.
I don't know.
Like,
I saw him playing a
probably.
Ranger with Aatrox before anyone else.
Yeah, but I feel like Hydra plays what he gets, and it could be sometimes he has an Aatrox in his Ranger games. Like I don't think he has it before in his mind, but it could be. I could be wrong.
How did Hydra
I'm
go
sure.
from being the best at forcing something to be playing whatever he
Yeah, I
gets?
know.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's just the matter, right? If one comp is
it's-
just that good, you should
No,
force it.
I watch. He's really good. He pivots into anything. He's really really good. No doubt.
Have you guys seen the X Waifu X guy on NA? He just promoted to Master yesterday, and he's at like 400, 500 LP now. Like within a day, 400, 500 LP.
Which name?
X Waifu X.
No, I don't
I
think so.
haven't heard of him. Someone was saying that he plays gunslingers all the time, which is like nuts to me. But yeah,
I actually saw that in Korea, some players still play gunslingers right now. The patch that is about to end, which we think gunslingers are not viable. They
Yeah.
have like a method of like loose streaking early, and then just pretty much loose streaking and then going after Krugs all in instead
don't
of rolling
completely
every round
avoid
like we
them.
do.
I don't completely avoid them. Yeah, I'll do that sometimes, but I feel like I need a red. I feel like I need red buff, or at least like I get red buff at the second carousel. Like I feel like I need that to be okay going gunslingers. Huh.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah, right buff Hush.
yeah, Hush is so good. Oh my god, in the meta. Anyway, just to know a little about you, Ace of Spades. So I know you were a professional Heroes of the Storm player once upon a time, right?
Yeah, I played quite a bit of Heroes of the Storm back in my days.
Okay. So can you tell me like a little bit about like, how you got into competitive gaming and also like what got you to start streaming?
Uh, I just think I like to compete, to be honest. So I
Yeah.
always competed since like World of Warcraft. I was rank 1 in EU, then Guild Wars 2 I was rank 1 in EU, and then Hearthstone pretty much same, card games, whatever I could get my hands on. I just like play and win with my friends, pretty much. That's what got me into esports. I just wanting to be pro with my friends and
Yeah.
living together with your buddies. That's pretty much what happened. Long story short, yeah. And streaming just this game is different than any other games I played because I don't have a team here. I used to always have like my friends and we would be a team and go pro together. But in this
Yeah.
game, it's like you're alone, and stream keeps me company and keeps me motivated to practice every day.
Did you have a group of friends that moved from game to game to game with you?
Yeah, pretty much actually,
Oh,
yes.
that's
I want
awesome.
to, yeah,
That's dope. Yeah.
but
Sweet.
now I'm alone.
Wait, what are your friends that you used to play different like games with on a
Mhm.
team? Like, what are they doing now?
One is becoming a lawyer. The other one is becoming a professional trainer.
Oh.
The other guy is
Life
he
happened?
does a lot, yeah, pretty much life. The other one is like a very good artistically and does designing, that kind of stuff. We still of course keep in touch and everything, but I'm pretty much the only one left that just still plays on a professional level. So yeah,
Last
last game
man
we played
standing.
together was Heroes of the Storm.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Well, we can move into our first topic of the day, and it's going to be talking about the item system, or not. Sorry, not the item system. But like item usage in particular. I want to talk about a little bit about how the decisions you guys make between like making items early to be strong versus holding on trying to get the optimal items. Like you get like ionic spark components. You can make that early, make it a little bit stronger, or like a Ludens, or you can hold on to be Morellos and get the GA later as well, and that kind of stuff. I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Of what is your and AceofSpades if you wanna take a jump at this of why
Okay.
what's your what's the reason that you will aggressively go for items early or hold off for the good items, the optimal items?
Mm-hmm. So I've been aggressively going for at least one item early game. Luden's Echo, Static Shiv, or if I get a red buff, GA, Morello, or Ionic Spark, I will make one right away. And I think my biggest mistake was that I wouldn't make Ionic Spark over Morello Nomicon. I think that was my mistake. Well, now the patch is over, but still till the end of the patch, I would make Morello Nomicon over Ionic Spark, and it seems that everyone else in Korea or in China I'm watching seems to prefer Ionic Spark, and maybe I was wrong on that.
Interesting. Okay. So you want to have one that'll get you through the early game, and then the rest you can kind of be greedy with.
Yes.
Interesting.
I think I did that as well with Ionic Fire, but for some reason I've been holding on for like Rot and Cloak, because I really like Hush as well. But yeah, it's probably been a mistake of me as well. I did it in the beginning and it worked out great, but for some reason I stopped doing it because of like Morello's being so strong. But I should probably like still do it. I don't know, man. If you don't have Morello ever, you're just gonna lose. I feel like you cannot win with that without that item. So yeah, it's a bit risky to make, but I usually make items when I have at least like 1-2 star early, right? Like when I have like no upgrades and I feel like I'm gonna lose anyway, I can better maybe hold on to the item until like after Crooks or something, and then start making them, and then try to win streak from there on. I feel like I
what
make
if
items when I have a good opener with units as well. Then I'm definitely making like a little bit suboptimal.
but what if like making the item Rens, like even if you're still losing a round, like what if it saves you like 18 to 20 health by the first like by Crux? Like, do you think that's like I feel like that's worth it?
18 to 20 health. That's it could save you like let's say 6, but I don't think I care that much anymore about health since like the meta's been slowed down. I think you can lose early. It's not that bad. It's not like in the demon meta where like you don't want to lose any health almost. You just want to push and try to preserve health. I don't think that's necessary anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like the early item thing is always like it depends like what kind of items I can make. Like obviously, I'm not gonna sit there and make like a sword breaker, But like,
Lock it, dude.
yeah, I mean, I wish that item was even viable to an extent.
We'll see.
There are times where I'm staring at it and it's like it's really awkward because like you can't. It's really hard to make a say a Zeke's in this meta because you're like that's like half a GA and half a Morel and Omicron or red buff. So like you can't like really make that item. But then like I feel like there's some points where I'm supposed to make that item and I haven't, and that's like cost me. So I'm not sure.
What I usually do is just put like different, like make no combination and just put like different items on like units I'm gonna sell later. So I still use my items, and they're not on like I don't use them. I just like don't combine. So I still at least use them, right?
Yeah, you spread them across your units.
Yeah, just spread them out.
I still like
it's
Ionic
not
pretty
bad.
often, but I do end up feeling really bad if I don't get Umbrellas to like stage 5. I'm like, God, if I just would have not made that Ionic Spark, like, I've been pretty torn on it. Like, because I feel like Spark's the best example of like it is still like a strong early, even after nerfs, it's still a strong early game item. It's just it's not gonna solo carry your whole early game. I feel like. I feel like sometimes like Ludens will do that with the right unit. I don't feel like Ionic Spark often carry your whole early game because oftentimes you'll go against a lineup that like it has a Cassidon 2 and it has a Vayne 2 and you're like, oh sweet, I have an Ionic Spark. So I've been really torn on that because again I really want Morellos and Rod feels so contested at carousels right now.
Maybe the Korean people are making Spark more because the gunslingers are more meta. Like.
Yeah,
gunslingers being out of the meta makes Ionic Spark just a little bit worse, right? People not picking up the gunslinger. It's like it's a little bit.
Yeah, I was watching some Korean stream 30 minutes ago, and plenty of people with double Ionic Spark on one character now.
Yeah, and from on the new patch.
Yeah. I was like, wait, yeah. The new patch is out in Korea actually, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting. So even at 125, they're using it. Even after the
at least on day one, so we'll see.
Yeah.
And I've about the Locket of Darren Solari. Now that it's 6 seconds duration, if I feel like if Elemental Ninjas or like Assassins, if they are meta again, then one of them is correct to be used. I try to one of them. You actually get to at least four of those units get their shield taken off from damage before the 6 seconds expire. But more than one, then you will waste completely. So
right.
Might be actually now decently balanced.
Yeah, it's still a late game item, right? Like you cannot use it. You don't make it early, so it's kind of feels bad when you get it early. Because it's like 6 seconds for the early game. 6 seconds for the early game. Really. Yeah, I think it's fine. Okay, I don't know.
I think 6 seconds when you have only 5 units and all of your units. Well, you're guaranteed that a unit with a shield will get hit right away. So I feel like it's a good early game item.
There's just not a whole lot of damage output, I think, is what Rens is saying. Which I guess, like, even if it's not blocking the full amount, it could still have a high impact in the early game, though.
What do you guys think of?
Right?
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Static Shiv now?
I think it's interesting. I kind of like it. You can stack it. It's just that like I don't often get two Ionic Spark or something. I don't know. It feels pretty rare to get because you have to make one, and you have to make like another one.
Wait, are you talking about Shiv or Spark?
We're talking about Shiv.
Yeah,
sorry.
Shiv.
Because all the early game items now got nerfed with the exception of Luden's Echo, which kind of does not have a place on a carry anymore because Sorcerer Wild Void seems to be off the meta, so like Ahri with Luden's kind of not being a thing anymore. So all the early game items kind of nerfed.
Now you can only put on like a Lucian.
Yeah, I mean it can still carry your early game, right? Like on a Lucian or something, but
yeah, but then after what?
Yeah.
I think Shiv is fine.
It would Ludens be bad on demons? They're casting pretty often, right?
True. Eva seems pretty damn broken right now.
Yeah. So another thing I want to talk about, I see people play them very differently, is when you don't have items like literally at all, like when you have 9 gold at the start of the game. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on what, like, obviously it depends on what units you get. You know, if you're not gonna sit there at 10 or 20 gold the whole time. If you hit 3 2-star units, you're probably not gonna do that. But like if you had a Garen 2, Fiora 2, Vayne 2, you're probably gonna try to win streak, right? Maybe you'll just sit on that actually, but I want to hear you guys' thoughts on exactly how you tend to manage a 9 gold start. What's your way to continue the game from there?
I think that you losing streak all the time. Like I will always go to 10
Okay.
gold in the first round, and then
Interesting.
I will not pay. I will not pay gold to level up.
I'd been doing the
And we go to level
opposite, and I
6
felt
on
bad
track.
about it. I'd been playing really aggressively trying to win streak, and then I felt bad about it. I feel like I need to just like be okay losing a lot in the losing a lot with the 9 gold.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think you should like. I think the best thing is probably like lose a lot and then try to roll a bit more on level 5. Try to get your like 2 stars and then try to win. Maybe like don't try to lose as much anymore from there on. Just
5.
like use your gold at least, right? Use that gold advantage and like try to get those 2 cost units upgraded and like get like pairs of 3 costs, right? I think you kind of have to use the gold pretty early. Don't go to 50 and then like stay at 50.
I think you can get the 50 gold sometimes. It really depends on like the exact specifics of the start. If you have like a couple level 2s and like they're holding the fort and you're not like, you know, they're killing like 2 or 3 units and you're not just like open forting, like I think usually you can actually eco to 40 or 50 sometimes with the 9 gold start.
Yeah,
And I think it's like no
that's what I'm
problem.
saying.
But like
I think
if
you
you're just
can
like
go-
staying on all level 1 units, then like you have to roll, otherwise you're gonna take way too much damage.
Yeah,
is
I mean,
how
I mean, we're talking about very general, right? Like, of course, it depends how many 2 stars you have. But for me, it's more general that I get to go to 50, and then I spend a little bit most of the time.
Okay.
Because most of the time you're losing because you have no item.
So
That's-
you're looking at spending a lot in early stage 3 is what I'm hearing. A lot of the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
It's been working.
Yeah, I've been playing really aggressively, and then I'm like, this feels bad because eventually people catch up to you, and your lose streak ends because they have items and you don't. If you don't lose streak all the way until you catch up in items, then, or sorry, if you don't win streak all the way until you catch up in items, then you're gonna feel really bad about it. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's also gonna be like a long time until you get like those new items, right? Crocs doesn't give like a lot of items. Like you need to wait a long time until you get like that advantage of like getting more items. So
Yeah.
you need to do something until you reach that point.
It's actually pretty awkward to like go on a win streak with 9 gold start, but then you get like the last pick of items, so you have no items, and then you're getting the worst items, and then you're just like, well, fuck, you know, you're like, what do I do with these 3 Negatron cloaks? I don't know, you know.
The rank 1 in Korea, Jinsu, he likes to lose a lot early game to get to the item he wants on the first carousel. Like he will not level up to 4 with gold. He will actually get to 10 gold quite quickly.
Huh.
Yeah, I see that. I think it's
Hydra.
the only one that does that. Quite unique.
I think Hydra also kind of plays like that. Like I feel like he almost never levels, and I've been doing the same thing, and it's been like pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been exciting because you know, when Hydra was on, he was like, yeah, I get to like 20 gold by Krugs like every game, and we're like,
Yeah, to be fair, that was a different time. Yeah, that was before the damage changes.
I still am definitely not on 20 gold on Krugs like every game. Definitely like maybe like 40% of the time.
I think I'm usually.
I'm usually.
Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
I think I'm seldom at more than 20. I think I'm usually at 20.
So can we maybe talk about like leveling like to 4 after the first stage? I feel like I almost never level. I don't know what you guys do anymore. I feel like I almost never level.
If I think I'm strong enough to win all the way, like 2-1, 2-2, and 2-3, I'll do it. And then otherwise I won't.
I don't know, I just like to keep the Knights and Voids on my bench, try to 2-star any of those, and then try to get a direction from there. I don't know.
Go ahead.
I will level up if I don't have to sacrifice like a good pairs, and if like I said, I am very aggressive on my early game items, so I will level up quite often because it gives me gold winning the round. So 1-2 more wins, got 2 gold back.
Yeah. So you don't really care about that like decreased chance of 1 cost upgrades.
Well, like I said, not really.
Do you guys level to 6 on 3-1 very often? I seldom do anymore. I have to be win streaking for a while to do it, I think. Or to be adding in something really good, I should say.
I think it doesn't. I think they actually nerfed the damage you take on the first round. So in the second round. Yes, they nerfed the damage you're gonna take on the second round right now. And it seems that now most people will stop to level up after Krugs, and they will level up 2 rounds after Krugs. That seems to be the trend that is going on. with the patch that is about to come.
Right. Tomorrow. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, the damage. It's weird because they said they wanted to. We had a writer on last week, and he was saying that they focused on late game damage rather than early game damage because they thought that the early game damage would extend the game a little bit too long. But then this change is reducing early game damage and it's increasing late game damage, but it's reducing early game damage. Which is interesting to me. It was like against what that said, but I guess the math still works out. That makes the game shorter than it is right now. That's what they're saying on the patch notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I felt like the late game was a little bit like a little bit too slow, right? People were complaining a bit that the late game was a bit too slow. So I think
Yeah.
it's fine.
I mean, they're playing scenarios where like one unit gets through and it's just not enough damage, and then like there's like a lot of late game fights are like come down to like either like a couple like units fighting each other or one person gets absolutely slaughtered.
Yeah.
I think that's like usually how the fights go. But like when it was like one unit plus like the like 3 damage, it like wasn't enough. But now it's like one unit plus more damage. It's more likely to end the game quickly.
Yeah, that's fair. One more thing about items is about carousel rounds. When are the circumstances for you guys when you start valuing the unit at a comparable or level or even more than the item that is on the unit? When you start there's certain units that are super key. I'm curious about those specific units. I'm curious about what stage in the game that starts to happen. Maybe for some people it's even the very first carousel. They want that Lucian so bad. Curious about your guys' thoughts on that.
Am I always going first because I'm the guest? How does that work?
Go for it.
Yes.
No, whoever wants to go, you go.
Okay. If it's depending on the meta, if it's a meta where like Cho'Gath is so important, like it's been, then you always pick Cho'Gath no matter what. If the meta is so heavy on a specific 4-cost unit, you always get that 4-cost unit. Like before it was Akali, for example, and now it was Cho'Gath. So that's kind of how I do it.
For me, it's like often, let's say I'm kind of dying and I need like an ASOL too, and there's an ASOL. I'll take that ASOL most of the time, right? I need to, like, if I get the 4-cost upgrade, that's like pretty huge. I sometimes take it. I think early game I don't really care about the unit anymore. I used to take Lucian a lot, but now it's like it's an extra bonus if I get Lucian, but I don't really mind that much anymore. I just want GA components most of the time. So yeah, that's kind of my thing.
I think for me it depends because like even the early game carousel, like I definitely do some like quick calculations as far as like what I can take that I might play early and it's okay for the item to be on it. Like, I'll take a recurve bow on a blitzcrank because like I'll sell the blitzcrank and keep the recurve bow.
Right.
But like if I get stuck with a blitzcrank with like a needlessly large rod on, I'm like, okay, well I might not sell this blitzcrank. I could put like an ionic spark on it and I could still play it. So like you can think about it that way. But like I think there's like you only have so much time to kind of decide what you're gonna do. So it has to happen pretty fast as far as like what you do your calculations. I do think I prioritize the item before the unit, but I do like to try to think about it if I have like the opportunity to.
Yeah, you're talking about first round.
Yeah, first round. As far as later, obviously, like if it's like, oh, I'm chasing down this 4-cost the whole game, and like, can I finish my item or get this 4-cost? I'm always taking the 4-cost.
The amount of times I've seen a Draven with a bow and that completely changes what I'm doing for the game. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what it is. I feel like it's definitely just confirmation bias, but the amount of times I've seen Draven with a bow on the stage 3 carousel, I feel like it's like almost every game. Like
what?
I'm not from NA, so I don't really see that often.
I think that the early game, like the first carousel, getting a 2-cost unit with like a suboptimal item, for example, a needlessly large rod or a cloak that you can make into an ionic spark is a very good pickup, especially on like brawler comp that was very popular this patch. So it was amazing to get like this early Rek'Sai 2, early Blitzcrank 2 was really powerful. So I would always take that.
You're saying on stage 1 or stage 2?
Stage 1 should be the creep rounds, right? So it's stage 2, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So you are looking for those random power spikes on stage 2 by hitting the 2-cost upgrade, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. I think I had that literally last game. The Varus 2.
Yeah, I think it's like an extra bonus.
Mediocre.
I don't always do that, but if it's like very good if I get like the upgrade and it's a good item, then it's like, poof.
Yeah.
Man, I really want that. I feel super fun.
And then it comes down to how many times reinforcement of like, oh, I need to hit this power spike and you level up, and then like the unit shows up your next roll. Like how many times that's happened to you will probably actually determine like how often you're willing to level up your unit. I think that's how like some people experience the game. I would say like if you know it's the right decision, you shouldn't let like what happens after affect your decision. But I don't think people can be that objective in playing these kind of games.
Yeah. So I'm actually kind of curious, Ace. What's your first carousel tier list of item? What's the best item to start with? Dispatch, right? Not the next one, but what have you been picking first?
Spell power, because you can make Ionic Spark, Morla Nomicon, and Luden's Echo. So that's 3 very strong early game options.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, me too. And after that, can you say your list of what do you like?
Yeah, of course. I would say then tier, and then armor, and then sword. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, you have tier really high up. Is that just because of Ludens?
Ludens, Echo, and Static Shiv.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's 2 items. Pretty much how many items you can make early game. Which item?
So when you say you often make one strong early game item, you are gunning for that early game item a lot. Like you always want it every game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the trend at least. That's
that makes sense.
Majority of people do.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. And allows you to have like keep your alt eye, get a lot more gold from win streaking. So yeah.
So what's the worst item to get from the first carousel?
I mean,
cloak.
Yeah.
Surprise!
It's the one that's always left open.
It's a cloak.
If you're,
I don't know. Maybe it's a spatula. I don't know. If you always want a good start, I don't think you want a spatula.
Interesting. There's actually a strategy that the rank 1 in China uses, which he will start with spatula and he will go 6 sorcerers with Aatrox.
Okay.
That's what he does. And he will do 6 sorcerer with Aatrox, Yuumi, GA. And yeah, he does that every time he can.
I love Spat. I pick Spat all the time. Absolutely love Spat. I just love the options he gives me. And
I think it's a bit too greedy to start with.
It is a greedy start, for sure. It just like, I mean, like even if I end up making a Knight's Vow just as like an early game item and having 4 Knights, like I feel really good about that, even though it's a GA component.
The Knight's Vow definitely, the ability to go for Rangers with 4 Knights with the Knight Vow really makes Spatula a better early game start, because then you have 2 options. You have the 6 Sorcerer Aatrox comp, super niche, and then you have the Ranger with Knight's Vow.
Yeah. You could go, I mean, are you against just going 6 Orcs Voids? Is that too much? Is that too much, I don't know. See, I've personally ran that quite a bit at level 7, taking Yumi's on Cho'Gath.
Yeah, the Yumi's Cho'Gath is so popular right now.
Obviously,
it is, but your Aatrox will come online early. I think that's pretty much what you do at level 8. You're gonna have Brawlers, Void, classic Sorcerers, so.
Okay.
I think that's how it works.
Okay. Yeah, that I think Yumi's and Knight's Vow are definitely what I use Spat the most for.
Yeah.
Although I've put myself too many times in a situation where I value Spat highly, I end up getting another Spat, and I'm so like nearly dead that I have to make Force of Nature, and it feels bad every time. So that's been like I've been pushing away from Spat a little bit because of that, because when I end up with just 2 Spats, I just don't want Force of Nature because it's so inefficient.
I definitely made a few Borks also.
Yeah, Blade Ranking's fine.
Yeah. It's like I cannot. It's like when you lose that 60 LPs because Gunslinger does not work. It's like I feel like I cannot afford that to lose that much LP.
Yeah.
And it's just safer to me to not play Gunslinger at all costs. Avoid it completely, no matter what.
Yeah, me too. I've actually had a Gunslinger opener, and then I ended up with 6. So
you end up with 6 what? Sorks?
6 Sorks.
6 Sorks. Like I had an insane opener. Like I didn't even reroll. I almost rolled Trist 3, which is normal, and just carried me through the mid game. I ended up like I had to transition out of it, and I had like 6 Orc with a GP and a GP mage or Sorc. So it was pretty good, but yeah, I always get out of them as soon as I can.
Did anyone see today Dog got Trist 3 on stage 2 too?
Nice.
What?
On 2-2.
I mean that happens sometimes.
I've never seen that in all my games.
I've never seen that.
Me
I
neither.
saw a level 5 Yasuo 2-star. That's the worst thing I've seen.
Damn.
Level 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stage 5.
I didn't even. I
No,
don't think
he's level
I don't remember
5.
flopping units.
Wait, but how? You can't get a level 5.
You can. Apparently, you can 1%.
Yeah, it's very low, but
Wait,
you
isn't
can see level 5, right?
6.3%?
No, 1%. Let me check.
On level 5, you can
I
get a
thought level
legendary.
6 is 0.3%.
It's level 6. I mean, there's no way you can get it on 5.
Units. TFT.
It's level 6. But
Level
I can
6.
see that. Yeah. I mean, I've seen.
Oh yeah, Pheylop. Yep.
I mean, still, level
Yeah.
6 is
Level
absurd.
6.
Level 6 is still, like,
Yeah,
absolutely ridiculous, so, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I've made a level 6 Yasuo too before.
You have? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised you made it.
Yeah, it was like I took a Yasuo, then like there was another one on the carousel. I'm like, okay, and then I came back, and then there was a third one, and I was like, okay, it was great.
I got 2 Karthus 1s at level 6 during the Karthus being absolutely absurd, which he still is really good, but, like, the patch before, I got 2 Karthus 1s at level 6. That was absurd. But never gotten a 2-star legendary at level 6. That's a... Oh my god.
No, but
Yeah.
even today, like I saw it was like round 1. It was like 1-3, and someone got a Graves 3, and I was like, what the fuck is that, man? What are you doing over there? And then there's like, I don't know, it happened. I'm like, okay, all right. It's just like it happens.
Yeah. Sometimes you see those early Karthus too, and you're like, good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good game.
It's like,
Yeah.
well, let's dodge
Yeah,
him.
7-7. Okay. 20 damage.
Anyway, moving on to our main segment of the day. Probably the biggest patch we've had in ever, right? This has to be the biggest patch we've had.
You think? Yeah? Yeah, I met the new units, for sure.
3 new units.
Oh, it's all black. Is it? Why is it all black?
No?
It's all black.
I believe in you.
What do you mean? It's 4 new units, right? What do you say, 3
Oh,
new
it is
units?
4. It is 4 new units. I don't know why it's
Come
3.
on, man. Yeah. Yeah.
There's us again. Hello, guys.
Yeah, that's tough.
Okay.
I mean, you can talk about it.
Yeah,
play-
but it should be appearing on here, and it's not. It's annoying.
Ace, have you played some PvE or last
Yeah, I
couple
played,
of weeks?
I played a lot of PB.
Okay.
Yeah, just Gunslingers seems like Jinx seems to be the new deal. Like
Jesus.
the better Draven.
Yeah. I mean, he's so strong, man. I don't know.
Hotfix strong or not?
It's like, I don't know, man. It's probably way too strong right now. I don't
It
know.
might be hotfix strong, I think.
Yeah. I mean, hotfix strong. We talked about it last week, and like, do you think Karthus was hotfix strong
There we go.
when he was broken?
No, I don't think it was hotfix strong. Well, I think it definitely
Well,
it
kinda not
deserved
okay.
a nerf, but I don't
Yeah.
think it deserved the nerf that he just got. I feel like I don't know if you guys saw that I had like an interaction with Mort, but I told him I think that he makes units go from bad to overpowered and then to bad again, and
Oh, but do you
There we
think Karthus right now is bad?
I think that now it's bad. Yes, I don't think that the fact that he needs as much mana as Aurelion Sol to get his second ultimate off,
Yeah.
and then he has to cast it forever. I don't think that thing is playable. I think he cast once and that's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know what was up with that,
Okay.
but we got it now.
But yeah, I kind of agree with the sentiment of like they make a unit strong and then they destroy it. They absolutely destroy it.
Well, do you
Like
think
Morgana.
Karthus is in an okay place like right now before this patch?
Yeah, I
Yes.
think now he's fine.
Yeah.
No,
So
I think it was. Yeah, I think that the patch the live patch is good. The next patch coming, I think, is gonna be bad.
Yeah, but now they kind of made it so he'll cast once in the
once
same amount
ever.
of time, and then he'll like sit around unless you put like a Spirit Sojin on him or something.
Yeah. He's
3, just at least 3 items he needs. Kind
They have to reduce his cast time then. If he has the same amount of mana as Aurelion Sol has, but Aurelion Sol casts his ultimate instant. A lot of times you know that Aurelion Sol is like 1 HP, he casts his second ultimate and then he dies. Karthus will not do that.
Yeah.
Karthus will just die.
Yeah, but the cast time's a really important counterplay, so yeah. Like CC is important. A way to beat Karthus. So
But then like you can't really make his mana bar huge, right? Like
Yeah,
then
yeah.
Exactly. That's the point. That's why he had 85 mana, because his cast time was huge. That was the entire point, or the flavor of the guy, too much.
yeah, because having 85 mana was still him having 150 mana, but he's channeling the whole time instead of getting more mana, right? To cast a spell.
Exactly.
No. Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So Hextech Champions is coming out. For those who don't know, you can look on the screen and read about it. So pretty much, the Hextech synergy is it's going to target a random enemy with an item, then it will throw a bomb at them, and then all units within 1 hex of that unit at 2 Hextech champions, or if you have 4 Hextech champions within 2 hexes of that champion that you threw the bomb at. So I was very wordy. It'll disable all those items. What's your guys' first thought on this? I've been seeing a lot of hate for this. A lot of hate for the Hextech synergy.
I think it's very not fun. That's what it's not fun at all.
I think
So,
that if you actually play Hextech, it's worse than what people say it is on Reddit. Like you actually have to experience how bad it is for yourself.
What does Reddit say? I have no idea.
That it's terrible. Reddit hates it, but it's worse than that, I think.
Hates the feeling of it, Rens, not the power level.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so weird because like when you hit units that are like carries that have all the DPS items, it immediately works, and you're like, yes, this is great. And then like a bunch of like items like where like it actually isn't that relevant for the first 8 seconds. It feels like really, really bad, and like you did nothing. You're like, oh great, I hit their like their GA and their Morello on a unit that I can't kill in the first 8 seconds over here, and then it's just like your Hextech did nothing. It didn't affect anything. But then it hits their Draven with 3 items, and you're like, woo!
It makes the positioning a little bit awkward. You just have to spread out your units with items. I feel like grouping up, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, Guardians.
I also think Guardians, but still, I think also like kind of nerfs like comps that have to be in the corner a little bit, like Sorks. So
Kindred comps.
yeah, a Kindred comps. I don't know. I also think like the 2 to 4 ratio is really bad, right? Like, do you ever want to go 4? I feel like 2 is enough, like most of the time. But that's what I think right now, though. I don't think you ever go 4.
So I didn't get to play PBE because as soon as I started playing it, the servers went down. So you guys, I know you guys all got to. When I first saw it, when I first saw the iteration that's going to live, my thought was 2 Hextech synergy is like super absurd. Like you just run it. If you ever have 1 Hextech, you'd run 2. Is that the case? Yeah. It is? Okay.
That seemed to be the case on the live servers that have the patch right now, yes.
Yeah.
I had misunderstood it to mean that like it shot the bomb at 1 hex and it would just disable those items for 8 seconds initially. And then like when I first saw it happen, I was like, oh shit, like it actually forces like really awkward positioning for a lot of comps.
Yeah.
Which I actually think that's kind of cool. Like, but like I don't like that it makes like Guardians like really fucking awkward.
Bad is the word.
I do like making people like spread out like their backline a little bit, so like there's like 1 space between each of them, and you put something else there. I do kind of like that, but like I think it's a cool idea in the abstract that in practicality just feels shitty for the people who are playing against it, and feels like it's not enough value as a feeling as a player to have that like that synergy in the game. I think like
I would rather.
God.
I would rather it being similar to the Zephyr, where like it targets 1 square and you can control it. I don't think anyone likes that kind of. It's more than RNG. It's completely randomic, nonsensical almost the way it works, and I don't like that it forces. There's Blitzcrank. Okay, you have to play your positioning different because people play Blitzcrank, and then Hextech. It's like it really doesn't let you being smart with your position too much. Because all those things kind of.
I agree. I had exactly that type of game where like I had 2 units with items, and there were 2 Blitzcrank players and 2 other Hextech players, and I felt like I couldn't. I felt so awkward. Like, how do I can't put these together, but I don't want to spread out too much, and like, it felt so weird to me. I had to just sacrifice. Like, okay, I just hope I don't get the Blitzcrank player or something. I don't know.
But that feeling really is good, I think. I think it's good that when you're struggling to make the decision for positioning, I think that's good. What I don't think is good is that, like, the randomness of the Hextech thing is closer to Phantom than it is to Zephyr, right? So, like, you want to be closer to Zephyr and further from Phantom.
Do you guys...
Phantom's the absolute worst, right? Everyone agrees with that. So you don't want to go near
that. Yeah. Do you guys think that the Hextech trait alongside with the inclusion of Vi can take us away from the current way of playing, which is stack a carry with a bunch of items. Instead, you'll be spreading your items around, and you won't really have a dedicated carry. We'll have Vi, Blitz, and Hextech, which are all mechanics in the game that really shut that down. In fact, you can run all three of those if you're running Brawlers with one other Hextech, right? You guys think that might be enough to change the way we play the game completely in terms of how we build a composition?
It was already going in that direction because of GA and
Yeah.
I think GA Morel and Omicron just
You're a really
Well,
strong frontliner, yeah.
a lot of character only need one item like GA. So yeah, we're going away from the hyper carry meta, but I think late game you will still have one guy with 3 items and then a bunch of other people with 1 item.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope it brings us away from the hyper carry meta. Like I don't really like the concept of hyper carries.
Yeah.
In these kind of games, like, you know, when we played DAC, I was always just trying to swarm the board with units and just play a bunch of units. And you know, I wasn't one of those like, yeah, like, I didn't really, I wasn't into like, oh, let's just make one super unit, and then like if that unit doesn't get seed, or in this case doesn't get phantom, then we're in great shape. And then if not, like it's, I don't know, it's so feast or famine that it feels so weird. Like there's so many of these games that like where like it's like, okay, I've killed their whole team, and then they have one unit, and the one unit's just soloing like 7 of my units. It takes like 20 seconds. I'm just like watching all my units die. I'm like, okay, yeah, your Draven has a Bloodthirster and a Rage Blade and a Rapid Fire Cannon. I get it. Yep, it's happening.
And also it feels like, I don't know if you guys remember the Dragonite comp in Autochess. It's a very similar feeling of that comp. Like if you don't get the Dragonite, which is your carry unit upgraded, you lose.
Yep.
If you get it, then great. But it's much better if you don't need something 2-star.
Yeah, yeah.
You can play with other things.
Yeah, like Cho'Gath in Void.
Exactly.
You wanted 2-star, but 1-star was already really strong.
Yeah, well, yeah. Cho'Gath was a lot about the items, the synergies, rather than the actual unit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That guy is getting slapped with
Yeah,
it
looks so like, bad,
Jesus.
actually.
No, but I think there's like it's a wrong, like it doesn't say the correct numbers
Really?
on the patch notes, right? Yeah, because it was already nerfed. So the old damage is like from a week ago.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Could they hotfix the other
one?
It was from 400. It should be 400 live, and then they nerf it to 200. How much do they nerf it to?
To 3, isn't it? It's like
250, I think, right?
275, I would say.
yeah, you
What is
can
that?
like. So it's not 500 right now. It's 400 right now.
So
Yeah. So it goes to 350. So it's losing a sixth of its damage right now.
Yeah.
But then also he's losing 5% more damage from the sorcerer again.
Yeah, but I mean, the sorcerers has to be. It's way too strong.
What do you guys think about the actual champions themselves? Camille, Jace, Vi, and Jinx. Is there any of them that stand out to you? I know Jinx has been getting all the hype for being like a new hyper carry alongside Draven. What I've been watching Jinx, I haven't been very impressed, but her damage numbers have been very high. I think that has to do with her being consistent AoE DPS, and that doesn't look nearly as impressive as burst AoE or single target, instantly killing someone. But her damage on the meters seems very, very, very high.
I've been really impressed by Camille, but I'm not sure if she's bugged or not. But it says here that it like roots the enemy. But for me, like every time I've had Camille ult someone, like that unit's just been stunned for like the duration.
No,
They
it
haven't
definitely
done anything.
roots. It just
Yeah,
roots.
but like the unit just doesn't attack anyone. So I'm like,
Oh
what's
really?
going on?
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe it's a
been
bug.
impressed. I think it's not a new unit, but they changed something about Evelyn. I'm not sure exactly how, but she looks OP as fuck now somehow.
Oh,
Is it the demon
know.
change, or there's an AI change as well?
No, the EI changed.
Yeah.
okay,
So
there could be.
Knife Rise is her current target with her ability as well. I didn't know that one existed. But this change happened on a lot of units that they won't automatically cast their ability if no one's there. Which, by the way, means yeah, there's that. There's also the people that are obsessed with the whole stat Katarina with a ton of mana. You now can make her have full mana again at the start of the fight, and then she'll wait to get into range until she ults. So you can stack her with to her full mana bar, and then it's fine. You're allowed to do that again.
That's also a lot of AD buff on Katarina.
Yeah, that's a huge amount.
But
I think
about
you
the new
need
units, 5.
5 mana items to get the full mana, so it's a lot.
Yeah, 5 tiers. Yeah. She's 85, right?
Uh,
Think
124.
She's 100? Okay. Well, then, okay. Yeah, it is
Yeah,
5
she's
tiers. Yeah.
100.
But I've been really unimpressed with all the new units except for Jin.
Yeah, same.
I feel like Camille feels really bad. I don't know. Feels like a pretty bad unit. I mean, maybe when it's bugged, it could be good. Feels really bad. The shapeshifter doesn't do that much. The brawler, like, I haven't played it that much, but I've played it a game, and it doesn't feel like it doesn't do that much either. And then Jinx is just super strong. Like,
I feel like
Probably
it's just a
way-
transition, either transition or for buff unit. Like, definitely Camille is really strong because she's Blade Master and X-Tech, so you
Yeah.
play her with Gunslingers.
Sure.
Right.
That's pretty much her job. Buffs.
Yeah.
They give buffs. Besides
Yeah.
Jinx, which is actually a really strong unit.
yeah, it's like a bad rider.
I mean, I guess for me, it's like I've always liked Blade Masters, so having another one-cost Blade Master for me is like, yeah, I like where this is going.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel that bad. I don't know.
Again, I didn't get to play. I had heard really good things about Vi, but maybe not so much.
She doesn't really do too much damage. It's an okay character, but like I said, it's mostly just for the buff. 6 brawls and X-Tech.
Yeah.
I think they need to make her her stun, like her CC, a little bit longer at the end of her ult, because like she can actually take damage in transit from when she starts ulting to when she gets their target. And like I think like half the time I played her today, she just died in transit.
And she also can be stopped, like froze mid transition.
Yeah,
Oh,
It
no.
doesn't complete. Yeah.
it's not
I mean,
how it works
maybe-
in League of Legends, guys.
Yeah, I didn't
Maybe
even know
it's-
that. Yeah. Huh.
Maybe it's good that most Hextech units are bad because of Hextechs being so
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of
I
like
agree.
pirates, for me at least. Like,
Yeah.
can't stand pirates.
And then
I
but
think it's
Jinx
the
has
same concept.
What'd you say?
I think it's the same concept. Like those kind of units are on purpose less
Yeah.
powerful.
Yes. Yeah. They actually said they said somewhere I don't know where it was. They said somewhere that like Lysandra is an example of a unit that is intentionally very weak in order to make because Elementalist is meant to be strong, right? She's the tax that you pay on Elementalists.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the same kind of concept there. So they
Yeah, that's good.
I think there's a lot of things here that we're very happy about under systems. So first of all, you can't fight the same person twice in a row, or almost can never fight the same person twice in a row.
Clap.
Yes, very happy, very
Very
good.
good.
There's this, which when I first saw this, I assumed it was all it did. I assumed was that they made the time go by faster. I thought that's all it was. That's actually not what's
Yeah,
happening.
that's how. Me too. Yeah, that's how I was doing it.
Yeah, that's not what's happening. It's all of these changes, like, which I mean, it kind of works out to the way that it is just accelerating the fight. But there's certain ways that it's going to be more impactful for certain champions than others in overtime. Overtime, pretty much at the end of a fight, if the fight's not over, then for another 15 seconds it'll extend it, but they boost up a bunch of your stats and they reduce some of the stats. They pretty much make the fight go a lot faster by changing your stats. Your healing goes down, your damage goes up, that kind of stuff.
Does it make the fight go by faster necessarily? Or just I feel like I'm reading it as like all the physical damage dealers have like a way like better time, and spellcasters have a way worse time.
There's 200% ability damage here.
Great, 200% of ability damage, but you get 300% attack speed.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah, on
ability
Cassadin,
damage can one-shot you, right?
You should see Cassadin with that thing. Cassadin
Yeah. I bet.
gets
Nice.
as much
Well,
shield.
yeah,
Cassadin
Wait.
is like Cassadin is soloing people with noble buff now because he just gets so much
Does-
shield. It's insane.
Does this break attack speed cap?
Yes.
It does?
It's
Okay.
called Killer Tempo. Lethal
Lethal
Tempo.
Yeah,
Lethal
lethal
tempo,
tempo, yeah. Okay. Okay, so that breaks attack speed cap.
Yeah, so Cassie gets double the shield and
Yeah.
attacks 3 times as fast. That's hilarious.
Yup.
Dude, I love this. It looks so funny. I really like this mechanic. It
You know
looks
what's like-
awesome.
It's a great buff to Shyvana builds because if you play the Shyvana builds, you know that a lot of times it end up in a draw where like you have one unit and they have like 4.
The healing reduction kind of
Yeah.
sucks, though, but I guess that's kind of... It makes up for... Well, I don't know. She might just die, but... Yeah. But that is an issue that she's had, obviously, is that... Yeah. She can't kill everything fast enough.
I mean, it's just a buff for like very tanky comps, like knights,
Brawlers.
shapeshifters, brawlers.
Braum,
Yeah, I think they
Thornmail
introduced
stuff.
it because of
Yeah, so that's good. Like, it's really frustrating, right? To like actually be stronger, but then
Yes.
like drop.
Yeah, it feels really bad.
That's really. So
We
the other
did-
thing is,
We didn't really have that issue almost ever in DAC. It was very seldom that actually happened in DAC, right?
yeah,
So also pretty much now, if you lose a game at 0 LP, they meant to make this change like a little over a week ago, and then there was a bug that screwed over some people, and they would demote even though they would do well in the game. But it's fixed now, and so now if you lose a game at 0 LP, you almost certainly demote. And if you're in if you're in GM and Challenger and you GM or Challenger and you lose a game, you demote to Diamond 1, not to the one right below you, but all the way to Diamond 1. So
What?
yeah, so if you're in Challenger at 0 LP and you lose a game, you're going to Diamond 1.
That does not make much sense.
Does it make sense?
No, it doesn't. It should be demoted to
I would think so.
Grandmaster.
I would think so too, but it's not,
Well,
it's not how it
no.
is.
It does make sense because Master, Grandmaster, and Challenger are all the same bracket. It's just different amounts of LP.
Oh, it is? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So it's all just like 0 to like 1,000. Like all of it's still the same bracket, right? So if you hit 0, you should just fall to Diamond 1.
It just feels
Okay,
super
makes sense.
unintuitive, though. The fact that like Diamond 1 and Challenger are actually next to each other in terms of like they're one game away from each other. But that is technically how the game works right now, though. Regardless, it just feels.
Well, because of low population, this
Yeah.
feels right.
And then some player damage. We talked about this a little bit earlier in the podcast, but pretty much player damage is going to be so the courier damage that you take, the damage that you take, if you lose a round, you take 2 damage per round right now. Their little legend deals 2 damage to your little legend every round right now. They're changing that so it scales over time. It'll be a little bit less in the early game. It'll scale to be a lot more in the later stages of the game. We talked this already a little bit. It just seems like I mean, they've tested it enough that they know it's going to speed up the game. It's just like this seems significant as hell to me. The fact that it's only 1 damage in stage 2, and I love it. I love that change.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like it as
I
well.
agree.
It's really good. I feel like it's the eco thing like we're used to from DSC more, and I think all those changes are very favorable.
Yeah.
For like more strategy and eco, which I always like. So it's good.
Yeah.
Just gonna say it smells like money in here.
No, it's correct. Yeah, I really don't dislike the fact that you are forced to level up, even though maybe you're not winning. Like
Yes.
it seems like you're forced to level up. It should always be a strategical choice, not something that is forced upon you.
Yep.
Exactly.
Agreed.
This is a good change. I like it.
So
we'll see
some
how-
trait changes. They have 6 brawlers now, so now we have 6 brawler synergy. And they toned down 4 brawler a little bit, I guess, to make up for that a little bit. Also, 4 brawler is just also super strong and has been, so seems fine. How have you guys thought about 6 brawler? How has 6 brawlers felt to you guys?
I played it.
Never
I
played
played it once, and doesn't feel that. I don't know. Doesn't do any damage.
It seems that at least in this like preview meta, people are making it viable with 6 brawlers with hack stack and jinx carry. That seems
Okay.
to be the thing people do.
I can see it.
Giant
So-
mid shield for.
You
I mean,
just-
don't you think every comp work with Jinx carry on?
Yeah, but
Yeah, you
that
can
one-
go 6
that one
brawlers.
specifically makes a lot of sense because you got the biggest mid shield and
Yeah.
hack stack in it, so
Sure.
that actually does make
Okay.
So you're not even running Gunslinger, you're just running Jinx.
pretty much.
Okay.
It's
That's
like the
7, and then I
Draven
take it.
era. Draven era where you don't even play Imperials or Blade Master. Like it's
Mhm.
just all it's
Yeah,
just good
yeah,
like
yeah.
all the time.
But hey, on 8 you have to put in like a gunslinger, so you put in MF
Exactly.
or something, and then you have 2 DPS.
Yeah, MF's buff seems pretty significant, but her spell still sucks, so we'll see. Like her AI sucks. Demons
I don't know.
have been completely reworked now. You burn mana, you 40% chance to burn mana, burn 20 mana, and then the amount of mana you get back, you're actually stealing mana in a way. You get mana back depending on what level your demons are, 2, 4, 6, 15, 30, 45. Everything that I've seen, everything that I've heard has said that demon comps are back. I don't know. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that, but it seemed like they're quite strong. Like just go 6 demons, and then your units are casting over and over and over and over, like Evelyn, like Varus, like Brand. So
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
I've tried it.
Go
It
ahead.
doesn't seem too strong to me.
Really? So
Yeah.
you've had the opposite
Yeah.
experience. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I feel like 2 demons is very strong.
2 demons is very strong.
Yeah, because you still get the
The
full mana burn.
40%, right? You still have 40%.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Because demons have very short. For example, Aatrox is a very short mana pool. Same for Varus, only 75 mana. So even already at 4 demons, you're gonna waste. Most of the times you will waste like the mana. You only will need like 10 extra mana, and then you get 30 instead.
Do you think there's any viability to like a brand carry with Shojin and 6 demons, or maybe 4 demons and Sorks?
Yes.
Yeah.
That if that happens to be the case, that Brand is one of the best carries, then yes.
I think like 6 demons is taking a bit too far. I agree. I think 4 demons are pretty good though. I think
4 is the
4 is pretty good. Elementalist together. Brand has been hugely buffed. Like I can see it, man. 4 demons Elementalist is pretty strong.
Yeah, 4 demons elementalist is strong.
Yeah, it's really strong.
It seems so linear to me for it to go 15, 30, 45 that makes the 6 demons seem less interesting.
Yeah.
I think like 6 demons should have just been like, I don't know, somehow made it more interesting. I guess it would be too powerful if it was like anything more than 45, but like it didn't seem necessary.
Maybe it should drain more mana as you go up.
Nah, that'd be too strong, but a 40% chance is ridiculous, right? Like, if it drains more mana as 6 demons,
Well,
you literally never guess.
Well, they're trying to they're trying to make it they're trying to make demons less about what it's doing to your opponent and more about what it's doing to yourself, right? Because the issue with demons before, the reason they felt so bad before, it was because the whole point of a demon comp was to make sure you did nothing. It wasn't to make themselves strong, it was to make sure that you didn't do anything, which felt terrible. So now they're trying to make it more along the lines that it's buffing yourself up, and also still, at least it's keeping the theme before of its stopping abilities.
Now it's doing something for you, and they do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true though. So it's a good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah, it does feel better now. But it's still one of those things that if it's, I think if demon comps are good, they will still be something people don't like, and really, you don't really have a reason to keep something that people don't enjoy playing against.
Yeah, I
When
can
you have
definitely
anything
see
you
that,
want.
right? Because like, if you actually have a 6 demon comp, their front line is not casting. There's like no way, right? There's too many people auto attacking it and taking the mana. So.
And then Cho'Gath gets to go back to being garbage.
I felt like demons in like this patch were like pretty good. Like they were like that synergy where you're like, oh, I'm like happy with 2 demons.
Wait, on
sometimes
live?
it's pretty good. Yeah, like
Yeah.
live right now.
Oh, I hated
felt
them.
like it was, I felt like they were like pretty good. Like it's okay to go to demon, and sometimes where you get a Swain, like you can sometimes add like 4 demons. It's like not bad. It's like pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Counter some certain comps. But like you almost never go like the demon comp. Like people don't want that, right? You don't
Yeah,
want to play
exactly.
against demons. It's not fun. And I felt like it wasn't in a really good spot how it was. So
Yeah,
I don't
demons
really
were
get
making
this
a comeback.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
at the
I
end of
mean,
the patch will come back.
the thing was is that like the meta was so prime for demons to be good, right? Like regardless of the actual like power of this energy, like everybody ran Cho'Gath and Sejuani. Like it's just like their front line. That was what the front line was: Cho'Gath and Sejuani and Nars and that kind of thing. And so demons were like that should be their meta to just shine. And I had the same feeling. Like I felt okay with 2 demons, but like I'd have 4 demons and I'd just watch it, and then they'd still cast a lot of the time, and I feel so bad about it because like the 4 demon chance just feels awful right now on live.
But 4 demons is almost as good as it was before. Just people did not run it because the units were weak. This patch.
Isn't 4 demons like 35 now? It
used to be 40, I think.
We at one. Wait.
At one point it was 50. Then it was 40, and it was still OP.
Yeah, 40 was still good though.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's 35, but no one plays it.
I think.
I mean,
I'm trying to think what it was the patch before, because 4 demons is the one that got hit the most on the most recent patch.
Morgana getting hit in the face with a bat probably hurt a lot. Like,
Yeah.
Morgana is, like,
and Aatrox.
destroyed.
Aatrox 1
Aatrox
is like such a
Mhm.
garbage. Oh my god, Aatrox 1 is so bad.
But Aatrox 2 is still good.
Aatrox 2 is still fine, yeah, that's true. But like,
I mean, it's really good.
when you see, but I just, oh my god, I hate, because I had an Aatrox 1 today with GA, and I'd watch him use his ability, and their health pools wouldn't move, and I'm like, god, just kill me.
I think the whole thing with demons is like it's boiled down to like a simple sentence of like You know, it's cool when your opponent has an anti-mage and you get the position around it. It's not cool when all of your enemy's units are anti-mage.
Yeah.
I think Custody is very interesting. It feels like even when enemy has Custody and he plays it well against me, I'm like, wow, nice, good job there. Like, you got me. But Demons is just fucking around them because, you cannot really outposition 6 Demons. They're all going to auto-attack wherever they want.
Yep.
So anti-mage, Custody, great. Demons not so much.
Ninjas got buffed and they really needed it. Ninja, I mean, at
Especially
least in my opinion, yeah, especially Kennen, yeah. Except that. Like actual ninja comps, like have felt terrible, right? Like, have you guys had a Z3 and then watched how terrible he is because he doesn't have 80% AD anymore? Like, he used to have 400 AD and now he has like 260. It feels so bad.
Yeah, dude, Rens had a Z3 today and then he just died.
Excuse me, I had 8 Zs.
Oh, you didn't hit it?
Oh. No, you had Z3 when you died.
No.
We'll see the clip later.
Alright, we'll see.
I had a Z3, I think, and I died. Also, Evelyn 3-star, and I died. I thought it would be stronger, but maybe we'll see. I had a perfect comp with good items, Akali 2-star, everything. Still got wrecked by random comp at the gold elo in PB. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Assassins felt so bad, and like I played Ninja Assassins, and I feel way better. I feel ninjas. I feel now way better in the mid game, which is like really important for them. I feel like the mid game spike of 4 ninjas are kind of back a little bit. That's when I played it at least, and that's really good. So I'm not sure if they're very strong late.
Yeah, that's the thing. Shouldn't these changes just make them like more stronger and stronger early game and just still like pretty irrelevant late game? Like, that's like 50 AD is a lot of AD in the early game. Like on a Shen 1 or a Z1, like that's a lot.
I think the pike nerf. Pretty much the fact that pike got nerfed so much, it even those changes that don't make up for pike being shit.
Yeah, I was really sad that they nerfed pike last patch. I was really sad about that.
Yeah, after no one was playing it anymore, I really did not get it one. They had a hit on pike, even though he wasn't getting played. They nerfed him.
Yeah.
This seems unnecessary to me. Isn't part of the reason nobles are bad right now is because everyone runs voids?
Yeah.
So probably what Hydra? I played PV with Hydra today, Pheylop as well, and he played nobles, 6 nobles with Jinx, comp twice, and it felt really strong.
Yeah, that seems like a great way to run
this
nobles.
buff is definitely not necessary at all. I feel like the adding Jinx to the pool makes nobles already way stronger.
Yeah, that's
I think
they're missing damage, right? That was the issue. Is they missed damage.
Exactly.
Jinx's damage. It's like the perfect
Yeah,
damage dealer.
Yeah, they don't need armor.
You needed the Blade of the Runic King and Raven, but now you just play Jinx and she has Gunslinger.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally on that.
I feel like this is ignoring what the meta was, because the meta involved a lot of units that didn't care what your armor magic resist was. I really don't like this
And
change.
Morello.
Yeah, and Morello,
and everyone played Morello, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of tree damage in the meta.
I mean, I don't know. Oh, God.
No, please go ahead.
I just don't know if people are really being upset about people, like multiple people chasing 6 nobles and all fighting over like trying to find a KL late game. So like, I don't necessarily know how oppressive it's going to be. I don't think it's that bad.
It might feel really bad late game though. Once again, like it might be like
maybe
like again the person that actually has the KL, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
I mean, it's just a weird change because it's not needed. I mean, it might not change that much. I feel like buff, so why would you buff?
Like personally, I'm not a big fan of comp that if that comp is meta, let's say, and the meta seems to be 2 comps per meta. So if 40% of the times you have to play a comp that requires you to find a 5-cost unit, and then if you find it, you will do well. If you don't find it, you lose. I don't like that playstyle.
I'm the same way. We had this discussion a while ago that it feels okay a lot of the time to have a comp that is reliant on hitting something like a 4-cost, even though it's not that likely. But a 5-cost makes it so, especially with stuff like nobles and those goblins and DAC, it's such a massive difference whether you have it or not. Your whole comp doesn't literally work at all unless you have that one unit that is really not likely to find unless you're super rich.
Nobles should be a viable pivot as it is now,
Yeah,
rather than
yes.
a meta comp.
You hit the kale and you're like, okay, now how do I, you know, or maybe maybe you're just so rich that you can reliably find the kale, go to level 8 and have 50 gold still, sure.
Yeah, but so often you don't find the kale and your comp is useless.
Yep.
Like if you're actually like not pivoting into nobles and you're just like hard going nobles from the beginning, like your team just sucks like 80% of the game.
Yep.
Yeah, that's...
So yeah,
I mean,
the thing is like nobles probably it's by design it's probably never going to be something that is like that is the meta is like everyone's going for nobles. That doesn't really work, but it can definitely end up to the point where in the late game nobles are so strong that whoever hits the kale ends up winning the late game because they have the kale and they end up going nobles, right? But I don't know if I don't know if this change will make it to that point. I don't think it would, but yeah. Sorcerers got nerfed. 3 Sorks got
Finally.
nerfed. Yeah. I think that's a good change. I think we can probably agree on that. 3 Sorks was absurd.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Moving on. Wild got changed. They keep buffing this. Over
Do you guys
and
remember
over.
when they nerfed it the first time?
Yeah.
This is definitely stronger than it was before. This is definitely a higher percent than it was before.
It started at 10%, right? And then it got
No,
like nerfed.
at 8. It was at 8 and then it go down at 7. Then
Yeah,
went up
I think it
again.
started at 8, but it was with the old attack speed calculations, which I don't know what that translates to, but this is definitely higher than it was before. So, I don't know. I feel like Wild's just going to be this absurd thing in the early game, and then still, like, you probably won't have it late game. I mean, they can get high enough, I guess, where it's good running late
I feel
game.
like 4 wilds were such a like a bait, or like a kind of like a noob trap, where like, I don't know, don't go 4 wilds, man. But people still sometimes went 4 wilds and they keep losing. I don't know. I think
I
they
mean,
definitely needed a buff, but I feel like, I don't know.
But
It
2
was
Wilds
so
early game
weird.
is so good. Like, if you have a Nidalee 2 early
Yeah.
game, like, it's so good.
Yeah,
But it's so weird. Because like when this game first like came out, remember when we were all playing Wild Sorks?
Yeah.
Like that's all anyone was playing was just like 4 Wild Sorks, and then like 4 Wilds has just been so unplayable for like the last like month. Oh,
yeah,
so
I mean that comp was a really nice transition from like early game to mid game to late game, and
Mhm.
Acel being Omega strong made that comp
I
good.
think it because also it was the one cost meta where you could, and also
Yeah,
Replifer
true.
can work in a different way with Nidalee, so you could play Nidalee as a hyper carry or something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. So,
Sometimes.
so you're saying with this Wild change that we're going to be hyper rolling for Nidalee 3 now?
Hmm.
For sure.
You should.
That's good.
If you're a challenger player out there, just do that every game, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
I do miss Aurelion Soul with Wild buff. I don't know. I thought that was fun.
How are they buffing this broken champion?
Elise?
Yeah, Elise. I don't know if I want her to get buffed, man. She's eventually going to be back to where she was before.
She's
Right,
just
needs-
so feast
It
or
needs to be
famine.
viable.
Yeah,
like useless or OP though. Like that's like where she's been, right?
yeah,
Like,
but I mean, her damage is way lower than it used to be. It's only 1 damage per spider, right? So
I think it's viable now because, again, if 6 shapeshifter, pretty much she's always gonna be viable whether she has a comp to be in or not. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Does she have a comp or not?
well,
But, like,
well, the issue has been like even you hit 2-star Elise right now, she's worse than like any synergy. Like,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
assume that's the case is different now. Is what you're saying with this, or no?
Well, yeah, like you said, she's worse than any synergy, but if her synergy, which is like demon or shapeshifter, becomes
Right.
good, then she's actually good.
So is she
Yeah.
is she still really poor as an individual unit?
I don't think so.
No, you think she's
Might be
better?
she-
Okay.
Yeah, I think she's
I
a bit
thi- I-
better.
I think this is the right buff because what she needed was health.
Yes.
Like I feel like she
Yeah.
just didn't get her ult off like almost all the time, and like you needed like a belt on it for like
Yeah,
to
I-
even go off, right? Like
My problem with her is that they keep insisting that her spiderlings need to do actually player damage. That's what people hate. She should have always 2 spiders, level 1, level 2, level 3. They should just do more damage and have more health as she scales, rather than
See
get
that.
more spiderlings and have like this multiplier of like player damage that everyone hates.
Yeah, spider or at least one is like, why does it spawn 1 spider? That's so
Yeah.
worthless.
just make her lichen, please.
Like,
yeah.
okay. Kha'Zix 2's non-isolated Q damage looked really bad to me today. Like,
Yeah, but
it's only a 50 change, but it looked really bad to me.
He was so strong before.
Yeah, he was.
I feel like this is the wrong nerf though. They shouldn't nerf his isolated,
Isolated
damage.
damage? Yeah.
I think
Probably.
No,
that's
wait.
for a
It's not
one
isolated.
cost
It's
unit.
not isolated.
Yeah,
This is not. He's saying this. They should target isolated instead.
Wait, why?
because I feel like it's
He
too strong.
one shots everything. Yeah,
Oh,
I'd probably agree.
I-
I mean, it's kind of his niche, I guess, but
Okay, but
Yeah,
it's also
like-
it's also very randomic whether your units will move in a weird
Yeah.
way
Yeah, for sure.
and be isolated or not.
I feel like for a one cost unit, Kazakh's ability like isolated is way too.
How much is the damage isolated? You know,
it's like triple this. I don't know the exact numbers. It's like
it's not gonna be. Is it 750?
no.
I think it's like
It-
it's like 500.
Yeah, it's not actually triple, but it's really really high.
Like 500 damage, quite insane.
Yeah, it should be something around those lines. If someone is not full HP, usually they just get one shot.
Yeah, and do you think that's for a one cost unit? I mean, feels
Yeah,
pretty
don't. Yeah, that's not.
It does
sometimes
like
even,
70 or
one
80% of
per cost
of a Garen's health. I know that. It's like 70 80% of a Garen's health. A
Yeah,
2-star
and-
Kazakh,
and-
2-star Garen.
And then Void being viable early, like
Yeah, with Void.
Kazakh's is insane.
Yeah.
Insane with Void. Kazakh's too.
Yeah, that's like the best
Yeah.
opener, right? Is Kazakh's 2 Void, because like everyone runs Knights and
Oh.
Nobles, and then you run Kazakh's 2 with Void, and he
Yeah.
kills the whole team.
Apparently, it's 600 at 2 stars. Yeah, that's
600?
a lot. Of damage.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Of damage.
It's double.
Yeah, okay, 600.
Yeah, that should probably just be like 500.
Yeah.
Pretty much, he is eating people for like more than a Radiant Soul 2-star does. That's a bit high.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like Kazakh's is one of the units that kind of went under the radar. I don't know. It's like such an insane 2-star unit early. I don't know.
Yeah, you might be right. Like he might have just been like might have been ignoring him because assassins weren't good, but in reality, he was a good
Yeah.
individual unit.
I mean, people play them, but people didn't realize how actually super strong it was. Like people know they were strong because of Void and stuff, but I don't think people realize how OP he actually kind of.
People had enough feel goods from those moments that Kazakhs would ult their spinning Garens that they like forgot about.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he always holds a spinning Garen.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you doing, bum?
What do you guys think about this Vayne
Yeah,
change?
crazy.
They're making Vayne more focused on her true damage, which means that you could actually the ability power scales better on her as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That same
Sure.
thing. If she's not 3-star, that no one is gonna play her as a carry because she's a one-cost unit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's obviously only that relevant at 3-star, right? But 16% is a lot. But like I just think of her, you know, Gwynsu's has always been pretty good on Vayne, so Vayne 3. So I wonder, you know, double Gwynsu's, that's gonna be going plus 40%. Now it's doing like 25% of their health. It's pretty much that's a lot of damage for every 3 autos.
Pretty good, but they're probably
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't.
The attack speed nerf wasn't too bad either, so
I like the current version where like you can use her for like
Yeah.
an early game static
Same.
shiv carrier.
Yeah.
And that's kind of nerfed now.
I don't
Attack speed.
understand why they changed. Like, what are they trying to achieve? I don't understand exactly.
Yeah.
They're trying to make all damage sources in the game true damage. So they have Void, they have Morello's, and Red Buff.
I think they're trying to make her more reliable, like do more damage, like in the mid to late game. I think that's what I would say that's trying to do, and give nobles a little bit more another source of like actually being able to do some damage. Even though like the number doesn't look like that much of a change, but it is 20% more than it was before. So
I mean, it's a pretty good buff for a 3-star unit, but
Yeah, the 3-star, like that's a big buff, right? That's
33%.
33%. Yeah, that's a huge buff.
that's pretty.
I guess no one was really incentivized to make 3-star veins, and no one has like
No.
chased that in a while. So this is supposed to like push us in that
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah, yeah, you're probably right. It's probably just simply to make like Vayne 3 a somewhat comparable carry, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
Noble also has Jinx now, so we'll see.
yeah, I mean
Exactly.
she's not gonna probably compete with Jinx too, but usually they don't. One cost 3 stars don't compete with 4 cost 2 stars.
Yeah, so they still don't want a 3-star because you want to sell that. They give it.
Yeah, it's
It's
true.
okay. Next week, Jinx is not viable anymore, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're gonna destroy it.
Not fixed.
they nerfed Brom's health by 100. It's actually pretty significant.
Good. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I was saying I think even though Braum wasn't used a whole lot, he still used a decent amount, but he wasn't used a whole lot because of how prevalent Void was. He still used a little bit, and Sorks. Braum as a unit, I felt like was really overtuned for a 2-cost because he could tank everything forever. Like watching a Draven attack a Braum, it's like 2-cost unit.
Like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Really funny.
Yeah.
So-
Until there's like a random assassin behind the Braum, and the Braum shields behind him, and then the Draven just like 2-shots him.
So I think it's a good change. The only issue is it's like not well timed in the meta, but maybe the Sork changes and the Jinx changes make that different. Like, you know, this is a buff to Jinx, by the way. Lysandra buffs, sure.
That's what I don't get. Why don't keep Lysandra? Why
Yeah,
still buff it?
yeah, why are
even
they
though
still
it's a
buffing her,
unit that
yeah.
should be bad. Like, why would you still buff it?
Because
What?
she's not supposed to be that bad, dude.
Oh, okay.
They keep nerfing the golem now. I think like the golem is a bit worthless right now. Like they went away from. I think like they over nerfed the golem a bit too much.
yeah, they keep buffing all the elementalists actually, except Anivia. But like Kennen got an AI
Exactly.
buff today. They buffed Brand. They buffed Lysandra. Like keep buffing all the elementalists.
Yeah, it was supposed to be that the elemental golem is the strong part of it, and now instead the elementalists are becoming the strong part.
Yeah, that's really weird.
I mean, like Rens, they don't want you to like look at like if you roll like 3 Lysandras on like 2-1, you're or like on like 1-3, you're like, do I even want this?
Yeah.
They don't want you to react like that, right? They want you to be like,
yes.
I'll take it.
Yes, please.
I mean, is this
Yes.
change gonna be that difference? Really?
Eventually,
It
if they keep doing
Yeah, they keep doing it.
Yeah, eventually, yeah, for sure.
I really,
Maybe
really
top
agree with
2
Pheylop there. I just want to point out, like, Crystal Maiden pissed me off in DAC. I hated the fact
Yeah.
that Crystal Maiden didn't exist in your shop when you saw her early game because you couldn't afford her. There's no way you buy her because she was useless. I hated that. I'm very, very happy
Yeah.
that if that's their goal is to make it so it's worth taking as a 2-star, I'm happy with that because I hate
Yeah.
that feeling.
Same with it. You don't want any unit to be like so bad. You
Ignored,
don't even
yeah.
want to ever 2-star.
Yeah.
But-
Lulu getting nerfed. Okay. I thought that was a buff for a sec. I read it backwards. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know if
That's a
she
good,
needed.
good nerf.
You think it's good nerf? I think she need to
Yeah.
get changed.
I think the 2-star Lulu early is a bit too broken.
Can someone explain to me how Lulu's ult works? Like, if something like just got hugified, can it not get like when it gets hugified again? It does the knockup, but doesn't get HP.
I think
How's
the
that?
health falls off after a bit is what happens, and eventually loses the max health gain and it gets it again later, or maybe it keeps it. I don't know. Like she can't increase their max health multiple times. Is what I.
Okay.
Yeah, you cannot. So if you heals a unit a second time, it does not get the heal, just the knockup. And it refreshes
until the
duration
health
of
falls
the
off.
Identify.
Yeah, does the health fall off? I'm not sure. I thought it did, but I'm not certain because I thought I've seen
Yeah.
the health get increased multiple times. It does fall off.
No, you cannot.
It does not
You
fall
cannot
off. Okay.
increase the second. You cannot increase the health multiple times. It's only once.
Well,
Well, right, but does the health fall
When
off?
it falls, yeah, if
It does fall
falls
off. It does fall off. Okay.
Yeah, and then you can
But
go up again.
but if you keep casting on the same unit, it just keeps refreshing it, so then it never falls off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So because I only did have like a double Shojin Rage Blade Lulu, I was like, I'm not getting any health anymore, guys.
Yep.
Just all knockups.
I don't think she needed a nerf.
I don't think she needed
I
nerf
mean-
either. I'm surprised that like Rens, you just didn't like the early Lulu too.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think really frustrating to play against and a bit too strong early.
And I really don't like this because people don't go 3-stars enough. I feel like 3-star 2-costs, and she's one of the ones that like it feels really good to get, and so you kind of want to go for her. And this is just gonna decentivize it more. I feel like nerfing.
I don't like the 3-star nerf. I agree.
Okay.
I think the 2-star. I think on 2-stars she should be nerfed a bit. I
I
don't
don't
like
think
the.
it needed to be like 75 though.
Yeah, I'm not saying 75. I think 75 is probably a bit, but I would like to see like 450, 420.
I feel like it's about the ecosystem of sorcerers now. Okay, sorcerer 3-star is not that strong anymore, and now which sorcerers do you want to play? Pretty much none. Morgana got nerfed into another space, and Lulu, you don't want to play Lulu anymore.
Cassidon, that's it. Just cast. Only Cassidon. Yeah, no. That,
Yeah,
Karthus
I mean,
is.
Veigar
Karthus is
there.
getting nerfed
Let's
as
go.
well. Veigar.
and,
Oh gosh.
and also Yordle did not need another nerf. So like I don't think Lulu needed a nerf in the current ecosystem. I don't think
Yeah.
Lulu would have been OP. There was sorcerer does not feel very strong in this patch.
RFC is
Interesting.
such a problem for Yordles. Like I hate I think I think RFC needs to be reworked for Yordles to become okay. I don't know.
Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think actually with this all the other nerfs, I don't think it needed to be nerfed Lulu, like with all the other
The
changes.
Sork and Karthus
Yeah.
and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think just the Sork and all things would probably be fine. But I think Tucson Lulu is just super annoying to play against because you can't kill any of the team. I don't know. Feels really frustrating.
Zed got buffed, but you were saying already that you played Z3 today on the PBE,
Yeah, it should be on my
apparently-
VOD.
Oh, yeah.
so it's not didn't feel too good still. Not
In general, like Ninja Elementalist, did not feel too good. I got rolled late game, even though I have the perfect comp. So.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
we'll see.
I don't know. Like I just can't imagine. Like I feel like if you can run maybe Ninja's early game and then transition out of it, I guess. But like I don't know what you transition to. 6 assassins and cut
Yeah.
ninjas. I don't know.
I mean, just elementalists with
Yeah.
something.
I think that I played actually last patch, like the current patch live. If you actually get a Yumumu Ghostblade early, 6 Assassin was actually a viable like B tier comp that would get you like top 3 or top 2. So I think that maybe that it could be a very strong comp if you get the spotted early.
I had run
That's
Six
about it.
Assassins Voids a couple times, but I every time I ran ninjas, I would just die right away.
Yep.
I mean,
what?
Assassin's need a buff. Too bad.
Yeah.
Good.
Aatrox, yeah, some AI changes. Evelyn, AI changes.
Good.
Katarina also AI changes and a very large attack damage buff we talked about earlier. This scales all of Imperial technically.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah. 130 AD.
This is a sweet change, by the way, because Shyvana's AI, where she would jump, was so frustrating sometimes. It was so bad sometimes. This is really, really good. I'm really happy with this.
I think Rapid Fire Cannon makes Shyvana builds not that good. Like she gets melted by Draven and
Because they don't leave they don't stop targeting her.
yeah, it's just well, you play Phantom Dancer on her and it's worthless against
Oh.
Rapid Fire Cannon and she just got 3
Yeah,
hit.
yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, also, you know, Morelos, but that's been the issue recently.
But I feel like Rapid Fire Cannon countering other items does not make too much sense. Like that Rapid Fire Cannon goes through Phantom Dancer.
Yeah, why does it win that
Doesn't make
battle? Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
guess.
when the game first started, someone told me the interaction. They were incorrect by this. Someone told the interaction is that it doesn't crit nor miss. It just has a normal attack instead. If you crit, I like that idea. Even though that's not what happened, I like that idea that it turns it into a normal attack. It evens out in that way.
Yeah, it seems pretty good. I mean, just add hex tech with the Shyvana, and then the Draven doesn't have an RFC.
Akali buff seems good. I think yeah, sure, makes sense.
Fine, that's fine. Who
This
cares?
is a more advanced change to Brand. He now has his first ult go faster, but he's a higher mana pool in general. Shojin becomes more viable on him in that way.
Throw the spears on. Let's go.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about have you guys tried Brand carry very much? Because this is definitely a change that is moving towards a Brand carry, right? That's the point of this, right?
How
think
much damage
Brand
does his ultimate does?
It's 450 at level 2.
Then I would rather play Radiant Soul.
Okay.
I mean, with the fact that he's a demon, I feel like he's gonna be very strong.
Yeah, I mean he's a demon
as a
element.
carry.
He has better synergies than Aurelion, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
but also his ultimate can also go on one target and then not jump anymore.
Yeah.
True.
That's really
Yeah.
annoying. That's so bad when that happens. That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, that's and especially
Another
with
result,
the
infinite
with the
range.
spreading out of like hex tech, it might be a bit of a nerf to Brand or like.
I mean,
what-
Well, that'll be an nerf for Aurelion as well, right?
Yeah.
No, he's still gonna
Sure.
hit it off.
but
He's gonna hit a
little
lot,
less.
but he won't hit everything.
I mean, I don't think those two are necessarily fighting for the same slots in both comps, right? And
True.
those,
Yeah, true.
So like you're just gonna play either one, and I think now you're
Well-
being happy to play Brand instead of being like, eh.
I don't agree.
Like, I haven't been excited to play Brand in a while.
I think you might run I think if you're running a Brand carry, I can definitely see you wanting to run Sork Elementalists, and then because you want the Sork damage buff.
Yeah, I think if you run on AP based build and based on damage, you will want to run Sorcerer. If you're on Sorcerer, you want to run a Radiant Soul, so they do compete, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
saying. Yeah.
it is like an option if you don't get the ace, right? We're still
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about 4-cost units where
Yes,
they're not
yes.
that consistent
And
to up.
I think that I would rather build the items for Aatrox. If I'm running like a full demon comp, then probably I would rather build Aatrox with GA and stuff.
GA
But I mean,
Gunblade
if you
and all
happen
that.
to get a lot of mana items, you can put them on brand. Just put all the other items on like Aatrox. Most of the time, you have like 2 units you wanna itemize anyway.
Talked about the card this nerfs. What? This is like the second random Kale nerf. I feel like.
Why?
I don't get it. The first one didn't get either.
Yeah, I didn't get
Maybe-
the first one. Someone has to explain me the Kale nerf.
The first one, her damage got reduced. Now her attack is getting reduced. There's nerfing
No,
her
that
damage.
was the mana.
Oh yeah,
It was
no,
a
you're
nerf
right.
to
It was her
mana.
mana. You're right. It was her mana. Yeah, you're right.
Like, why?
Yeah, I don't know.
You guys find her too good at like 1 star or something? I don't know.
She seems like
It's
such
not
a.
that good.
No.
She seems like such like. She seems like a fair 5-cost unit. Like what a 5-cost unit should be, and they just keep nerfing
Yeah.
her. I don't get it.
I agree.
I mean, she is pretty frustrating as a unit, but
Maybe it's
If
for
you
the
get
noble.
Shujin, I feel like she comes in so late that she requires particular items on her, like Shujin Spear, Rage Blade, that you really don't build those items earlier. That it's kind of fair. If she gets those items on, yeah, she's annoying to play
Yeah.
against.
All right, is MF viable now?
Oh yes.
Yeah, she's good.
Oh yeah, a lot.
75
Like,
mana is really low.
Yeah,
it's really-
yeah. 'Cause
It used to be like that before, and then they had to so they buffed her by giving us 75 mana instead of 100. Before, then they had to nerf it again. Now they're buffing her again. We already saw that she's good with that mana.
I think he can work well in Sorks again.
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
Pretty good.
That MF
Yeah.
seems pretty good.
If you get an MF1 with Yumi, she's super good early game. Like so strong in like mid game.
Yeah.
It was
Crazy.
already the case that like when you went against the MF that had like double Seraph's Ludens, like just like instantly ults, it was kind of a monster. So yeah, I can
Yep.
definitely see it.
Always the risk of Pega, though. Always the risk.
Hush got reworked.
Yeah, she's the pig nerf.
They now have units unable to gain mana. I have a question about this that you guys might not be able to answer because it's super not important. But do they get mana from the auto attack that applies the hush?
Huh?
not-
No,
No.
I don't think. No. I think it first triggers the silence, and then you don't get the mana. It's a nerf to Guardian Angel because now the unit dies, but it does not have full mana when she comes back to life.
Oh.
Oh, that's I
Pretty
did
good.
not think about that. That's a really good change. Yeah, I'm more happy about that change then. Cool.
Yeah, talking about like that. Maybe go back to legendary. Don't you guys expect like maybe a Swain nerf, or do you guys think Swain is at the right spot? Right.
I think I like legendaries being like the thing about Swain is that a 2-star Swain is what's insane, right? A 1-star Swain, like if you have enough items, he can be good. But like a
Yeah,
2-star
like-
Swain is like it's absurd to me.
A 1-star Swain wearing a Dragon's Claw and a Morello is like just like super hard to kill.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
so
but-
you guys would have expected a kill nerf and not a Swain nerf?
I said I didn't expect the Kale nerf.
Okay.
I
But you're
think
not
it's-
Yeah.
Okay, I know, but like, let's compare it to that, right? Like, why do you get kill nerfed and not Swain?
yeah. I, mean,
That's really weird to me.
I
I
honestly
think
would be
it's
fine neither of them
because-
being nerfed.
I mean, I don't think Hell needed a nerf, but I think what it is that like they are not seeing a high amount of 4 Imperial endgames, and so Swain isn't really on the radar, is what I would assume is that.
I feel like this. I think they look at the stats of like the win ratio of champions at various elo, and maybe Kale was being too good at lower elos,
Yeah.
and I decided to nerf her.
Nobles.
But literally, Swain
They
is a
buffed
winning
doubles.
condition, right?
That's my
Like, I
only
feel like
explanation. I've no clue.
Swain is just a winning condition. Like, you have a cannon that's stacked, you try to get a Swain late game, get a 2-star, and then you win the game. Like, that happens in a lot of games if you want to win. And I feel like Swain is way too strong. But maybe
They-
just nerf the 2-star? I don't know.
Well, what's gonna happen is the same thing is gonna happen. If people play a lot of comp where like he fits into it, then Eagle's gonna get a nerf. If people don't play comps where he fits it, they're not gonna nerf it.
But I
The
even
only
feel like
nerf thing
in-
is he play.
I feel like Swain 2 doesn't need any comp. Like, he's just good with items and he will win you
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah,
because of that. I don't know.
I feel okay. So how do you think what power level do you think a 2-star legendary should have? Because I feel like a 2-star legendary should have this feeling of being like your comp is completely different power level than it was before because it's such an insane power spike. But the thing is, Carousel, like that's how it kind of felt like it should be in DAC, but Carousel's making it a lot more likely to get them now. So I don't know. How do you feel a 2-star legendary should affect the game?
I think Yasuo feels really good, but doesn't like destroy the game.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Whereas
I like
like
Yasuo.
when other 2-star legendaries hit, I'm like, I don't even want to fucking play it anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
I
you're
agree.
playing against like 2-star like Swain, you're like, I can't kill it. It's killing all my units. And this has happened over and over until I'm dead.
it's coming from my family, like there's no chance.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you want it to be more the
Whatever.
Yasuo type, where it's just like a consistently
Yasuo,
really
yeah.
good unit.
Yasuo is good as a 1-star, as good as very
Yeah.
good as a 2-star, but it does not feel oppressing.
Yeah, I think I
Yasuo's
agree.
very
That's what you
consistent
want
in terms of what he does, right?
It
to.
was
I mean,
weird. Oh, good.
I feel like Yasuo is strong with Blade Masters, right? Like he's really strong, but even without them, he feels like okay.
Yep.
But not. He doesn't feel OP with 3 Blade Masters. Maybe with 6 or 2-star, it's like really strong, but so pretty hard to get.
It
So
might
you
just
just want-
be how his ult works, though, right? Like, because it takes like his ult goes off a few times, then it does like a knock up, and it's like cool. But like, whereas like all the other legendary ults like are so like flashy on the screen that it's like, you know, Anivia 2 will ult, and you'll just watch your entire Ranger backline never attack, launch an auto attack, and then die slowly. Or like Kale 2 is just like Spear Sojourning and just like, oh look, like 4 units are invulnerable, ha ha ha. And whereas like Yasuo is like quietly stabbing some stuff and doing a tornado once every like in a while. So I don't know.
Swain is just sorry. Swain even as a 1-star, if he ults, is a problem. So a 2-star just makes him more likely to ult. That makes feels oppressive. Meanwhile, the other 5-cost legendary, like you mentioned, Kale, they have this weird multiplier of their ability, which like it's like more than doubles the utility of the ultimate. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I'm surprised the Kale ultimate, instead of lasting longer, targets 2 units.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. It's
I was like, what the
multiplier.
fuck?
Moving on. This is something I know Rens and I were saying we disagree with very heavily is the Infinity Age buff. This is a pretty large buff to an item that probably was already one of the highest, the highest damage increase to auto attackers. I think it had to be the highest damage increase.
That Draven
Yeah.
is a slap some dudes.
So
Yeah,
the
Jinx.
thing about we didn't go over it yet, but like GA got kind of destroyed. So swords are kind of open again to like other items,
yeah.
and they're gonna buff one of those already strong items with sword. That
Yeah.
feels really weird to me. I feel like IE is a little bit like it doesn't need this.
Ace, how do you feel about
like,
Oh, sorry.
I
go
feel like GA needed a nerf, and then actually IE was fine because GA was too strong. So
It feels like it's. I don't like it that it's so random whether it crits or not. I think it should give both critical damage and critical strength chance, but be reduced.
sure.
Did you just make it more likely as well? Okay. I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Both,
agree.
Like
I-
how it is
if
on
it just,
in
like-
League.
Mm-hmm. Like I think it's just increase your crit chance, and then like I'm not even sure it should increase your critical strike damage that much.
The issue with increasing crit chance is it becomes a negative item against Phantom Dancer.
Sure.
that's
but this
fine.
should be counterplay. Yeah.
That's fine, right?
Yeah.
But the problem then
Yeah,
again is
it's okay,
what
but
happens
it
with the rapid
like
fire cannon?
It always
it'll go through PD, but it feels like anytime you have an interaction like that, like there are times where Phantom Dancer is just going to be meta. Like an Assassin Mez is going to be meta, and that means an Infinity Edge is unplayable. Like-
well, that's not true, because like even now, like it's not like I never build a Sword of the Divine. I just have to have a rapid fire cannon on the unit first.
But Phantom Dancer is not meta right now. But
I
Yeah.
don't ever make sure of it.
I made Sword of the Divine
What?
once in the last like 3 weeks. But
I definitely occasionally just like be like, well, I have nothing better to do with these items. Okay, Draven, you already have a rapid fire. Take a Sword of the Divine, and it's still like
I mean,
it's really good on him.
I mean, what you just said sounded like you was happy to make one.
Yeah, on certain characters, Draven only needs 2 items to be good.
Someone in
Draven
my-
really only needs 2 items.
someone in the chat did the math for this. Okay, in current Infinity Edge on live, does the same damage increase that Sword of the Divine that Sword of the Divine does when Sword of the Divine procs instantly, not accounting their actual stats in the items, because Sword of the Divine does have recurve, which is better in late game. But apparently, this damage increase is just as good as having crits. So they did the math, and I looked at the math and it made complete sense. Because in this game, the increase in damage, a crit strike is not 200%, it's 150. Like in most games, like in a regular league as well, it's double damage, and this game is only 150.
Yeah.
So crits actually aren't that insane. And so this increase is actually already very big. So I don't know.
Doesn't need a buff. I think it's going to be very strong, unlike
Like-
your carry.
The thing that you mentioned, it is my problems I have with the way they're balancing team. This is embarrassing. You cannot have an item that if it procs, it's just as good as another item. Like how does something like that pass? Can you? It's basic math.
I don't know. I really, this is such a weird change.
We talked about Spark quite a bit. That people are apparently in the regions where this is live, people are stacking Spark right now. So that's really interesting to me. I thought it was going to be honestly terrible, but
That's cool though.
Yeah,
I like it. I want to play more 6 Knights, man. 2 Sparks, let's go.
Also
I'm
talked about
ready.
2
Locket.
sparks, sit there and just watch nothing happen.
Overtime, let's go.
Morello's is now over 10 seconds instead of 5 seconds. Same amount of damage. That means it's a lower DPS. However, the healing reduction lasts that full time, so they won't be able to heal for a longer period. How do you guys feel about Morello's? And same thing with Red Buff right now. Red Buff didn't really like Red Buff. I think is like you can make an argument that's a buff because the actual damage, the DPS is barely changed. But
So I heard from Rens that when your unit applies Morello and then dies, your Morello debuff falls off.
what?
That happened to me, but okay. So it's either that or it's a bug, because that happened to
That
me.
can't be
in five.
intentional.
So it's like it's either that or or I got bugged out. But it happened to me like multiple times on PB.
I've heard that when Morello is applied, it lasts forever. Actually, we have those myths about the
Okay.
item.
Forever.
What did you heard?
I mean, in my game, I applied Morello. I had 3 Morello units, right? I had a Kenny, Brand, and a Swain. All had Morello. They all hit the Draven, and he still lifestealed after the unit died with the Morello, the Morello unit. So, I don't know. It was probably a bug, but otherwise, it looked like when the unit died that applied the Morello, it went away. But like, I'm not sure though. It could have also.
Interesting.
When I first read it and it said that the damage got extended to 10 seconds, I was like, oh, cool. And then, like, hopefully the health debuff will still be 5 seconds. But apparently both just got extended.
Yeah,
So,
I don't. It's like eating items are too strong. Like Aztec Gunblade and Bloodthirster are too strong, but at the same time they just don't work because people have Morello and Red
Yeah.
Buff all the time now. And
Bloodthirster
They should
sounds
put-
like such a strong item, but it always has been like a Draven item almost solely because of the fact that your backliners are taking damage. But the like 50% lifesteal is so much, right?
I think the issue that comes down to this. I think they realized it, right? Like, they realized that having 2 dragons give 100% magic resist is bad. It should never be 100% because it nullifies parts of the game. Like, maybe Red Buff and Morello shouldn't be 100% healing reduction. It should just be like 70% or 50% healing reduction or something.
they said that they're looking for a more elegant solution than that. This was the exact word of their lead balance designer.
It's so weird because in League of Legends itself, Morello only does 50% damage, 50% healing reduction, right? But like, it's weird because a 50% healing reduction against a Draven to a Bloodthirster, it probably still just like out heals everything. A lot of
Exactly.
the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So it's kind of an issue. I don't know.
I
They
just
need to nerf both at the same time.
I would really like these mechanics to stay as a way as tech options to stop healing rather than be primary damage options, which is kind of what they've been. They've been primary damage options against people with Dragon Claw and dragons, right? Like, and just in general, because they've been so much damage. I think that's so. I actually like the change overall because I want it to be focused on the healing reduction rather than it being true damage in Sorks. It's like,
Yeah, me
well, too bad. You don't get your magic reduction. We still kill you with just an item.
anyone that like disagrees with like nerfing both the healing items and the anti-healing effect, like that, I think that would be the most sensitive thing to do, and I don't understand why you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe blood thruster back to 35% and then anti-healing to 50%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like that.
Sure.
I like that as well.
You don't want to have to make the healing items powerful because there's a chance of them being completely nullified, right? Like that's just bad design.
So, do you guys remember that period where people talked about in brawler comps that redemption actually wasn't that bad? There's a few days
No.
people were, you don't remember that. There's a few days people were talking about that during the Demon Bear time. Where people are saying that actually redemption's actually kind of okay in there. And so now we have 6 brawlers and redemption got buffed by 50%. And so I really want to try that. I haven't to play PB myself because it went down. I really want to try that because that's a lot of health now. And if you have that much extra health on 6 brawlers, that can have a huge impact.
It's the same problem as before. Like if Morello and
Yes,
Red Buff didn't exist, I think at 1,000 it was fine. And now it's like my entire team completely heals, or you have healing reduction on me, and my team doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
Like it's the same problem.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. Totally true.
I don't know if people will play the new Morello though.
Yeah,
We'll see how the meta
but
develops.
Red
if
Buff
people
probably
play
will
it or
because
not.
people are playing gunslingers, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Red Bull.
for sure. They still Jinx. Yeah.
So, darn.
If you guys remember, Redemption was actually bugged and would heal to 100% HP before.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
So it actually was stronger than this is now, and still people did not like it.
Mm.
Yeah.
It was like an early game option, more than anything.
Which is fine. Right? Some items can be good.
Yeah,
early.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's important. I think it's important that are items that are a good late game and good early game because it makes you have to make a sacrifice if you make the early game item or if you decide to hold on to late game item.
Mhm.
Static Shiv got changed. It's only 3 bounces now, but the damage is higher. We talked about it a little bit. You guys are saying you really liked it right now, or was actually I think AceofSpades asked the question, but I don't know if we actually talked about it that much.
I haven't tried it. No idea.
Yeah, again,
I feel like it's one of those things where like it's either too good or too bad.
are you saying So are you saying that in this iteration that it's too good or bad? Or are you saying that this buff is going to push it one way or the other?
Yeah.
Or this change? You're saying that's good. Okay.
Well, this
it's
seems
just
like a nerf, right?
early game buff
Yeah,
and late game nerf. Right?
Well, yeah, it should be better early game, right? Because a lot of the fights, like you kill a unit instantly and then it's only 3, but
it's just a nerf. It is a nerf.
yeah, I think it's
overall, and
definitely
that's
a
good.
nerf overall.
And that's good because it's a little bit.
Yeah.
Warbox change doesn't really exist.
Yeah, this isn't real. If you know how much math, how much health you need, it's absurd. So whatever.
Okay.
GA got murdered. This is
I
way
played it.
worse than it was
I played-
before, right?
I played it a lot. I went for GA still every single game today. I played on PBE because it's just in my head to always make GAs. And it felt so much worse. Where I kind of didn't want to go for it, but my mind told me to.
I don't think
make
you
a
should go
GA.
for it. This seems terrible.
Yeah,
It's like-
I don't know. It feels bad.
It went from 1,000 to 800, which is that was a good change from 1,000 to 800, and people wonder, is it gonna be good? That's a good change, 20%. And then from 800 to 500, like they have no patience anymore. Just the fucking slap a big number on it.
Yeah. Oh
Like,
my god.
ADHD.
Like
They're
500
turning
is like
double
actually just one shot range, right? Like you might come back, not get a chance to cast your
And you get
spell,
Kha'Zix
still
queued.
die again. Yeah, or like
Kha'Zix
Draven
will
just
kill
slaps you, or like a Calling L2, or like a bunch of things can happen where you just don't get the ult. You know?
I
Just
feel like
re-
you never make
Reduce
this
it by
happen.
100 and then wait next week, and reduce it by another 100 if by next week is too strong.
Yeah. I feel like you should. I feel like you should
I mean,
never
you can
make
also
this
just-
either.
You can also just
fine.
test it and see how it feels, right? Like there's no way this feels okay.
There's nowhere that they one patch they do from 1,000 to 800 and from 800 to 500. Just they've lost all their patience and just slapped a huge number
What-
on it.
What was GA's health on Resurrection when the game first came out? Anyone know?
350 and then it went up to 500 and to 1,000.
Oh, it was that low? Was that 350 one time? Okay.
Yeah.
350, then it became 500, but it gives you 1-star level.
Oh, yeah, that thing. Yeah. But
That was
that
cool.
never got to live though, right? That never got to live. So
No, it never came live.
okay, this is I think it's so dumb. You can get a full. That's okay. I just want to complain about this a little bit because you can now get a full item now from creeps. Like just like on stage 1, 2, you can a full item can drop. And I have two issues with this. First of all, it's just random RNG that's annoying, and like how good the item is completely RNG, and that's annoying. But my issue is that if a completed item instead of a basic item is just less decisions that you make. A basic item, you have to decide how you're going to use it. A completed item, you're just going to put it on the best unit, and that's way less decision making. That's really annoying to me.
And if it's a really bad item, then you get less items later on. You get gold from the
Yes.
tribes.
Does it count as 2? Does it count as 2 for that purpose?
Yeah,
Probably.
of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so weird. Because I usually don't like decisions being taken away, but I feel like in this situation, it is a way to mitigate like high item drop, high roll. Whereas like you get more items, but you get less choices to do with the item. So in a way, like it's not just good. So I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I think I'll have to play with it to actually know more. Like hypothetically, less decisions is bad, but also I think it's an interesting way to mitigate high roll items, where they just get to make more good items with more items.
Sure. I think this is a change in a totally wrong direction of a game, and I'm really concerned about this addition, where I feel like they're gonna make the game more RNG, more like casual, and like that just gives me this instinct or like what they want to do with the game, and it feels really bad.
It's also it's not necessarily true that casuals don't want the game to be competitive. The most popular mod among casuals is still ranked mode, so it definitely wants skill to matter.
Yeah.
No
yeah.
one
Okay.
wants
Sorry.
the game to be
Maybe I
complete
was.
RNG.
Yeah. Maybe the casual was not the correct term, but more like RNG.
Okay, so we went really long talking about the patch, which is totally fine. We usually do a meta segment at the end. We're probably just not going to do that today. But there's one more thing I want to talk about from the patch because going over the bug fixes doesn't make a lot of sense. But there's one thing the bug fixes that's really relevant that people have talked about a lot, and that's this change right here. That Graves now properly gains range with rapid fire cannon. Have you guys seen or tried yourselves like Graves with RFC, and do you think it has actual viability?
I saw the lawnmower. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think that if you can hit it, then it seems like it's out to win if you hit it, but you have to get 4 attack speed items.
Yeah. 4 Ikorbos is absurd.
It's like a misfortune with 4 mana items, pretty
Right.
much.
But it happens
you have to
sometimes,
get
right?
4.
Sometimes you need double rapid fire cannon.
Okay.
Oh really?
Yeah. You need 2.
But
And he needs to be 3-star,
awesome.
so it's a lot of things. It's fine.
Because that way,
Is that
the reason he needs 2 is so that the gunslinger procs can hit every unit around you can hit it.
Oh.
So.
I would thought it would be just fine to have like a red buff and a rapid fire cannon. You'd be hitting a lot of units. with
Yeah,
red
I'm
buff.
sure that's actually decent. I'm sure that's fine.
But I guess you don't get to just like bug spray the whole map or anything.
Right. Exactly.
You do double rapid fire cannon and red buff, yes, and you just bug spray everything.
So yeah, I mean, I could definitely see us time where like I pick Recur Bow at the first carousel and then 2 more drop in the first couple rounds. I'm like, you know what? I have a couple graves. Let's do it.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I mean, even Ravis Hydra is probably not that bad in this situation.
Yes,
But-
I was thinking that. I saw a comment about that. That like, why don't you like about Titanic Hydra? Like, why don't you do that? And like, yeah, I could see that being a lot of damage. But
It's been a while, you know.
yeah, things have to be grouped together though. Is the thing. It's still gonna work the same way in
Yeah.
terms of splash. Anyway, Ace of Spades, thank you so much for being on the show. Is there anything that you want to plug? Like, I mean, and plug yourself. Your YouTube, Twitch, do you have Twitter? What do you got?
If you want to watch me on you can find me on AceofSpades Hots, and that's about it. You can write AceofSpades YouTube guides on YouTube, and you're gonna find me. That's
All
about
right.
it.
Thank you so
Very
much
good
for being on the
videos.
show. Yeah. He like, if you want to
That's fun.
see someone who posts like tons and tons of videos that are all super educational, like Ace of Spades is your guy. Go learn from him. He's awesome. Little announcement for you guys. It's a lot of people will be very happy about this. This podcast is now on Spotify. More to come. It's now on Spotify. If you're in if you're
Whoa.
in Twitch right now,
We did it.
there's a link right there. Yeah, we did it. It's like, only like, probably 20 people have requested it. It'll be on other platforms very soon, audio only platforms. So awesome. Yeah. If you want to see us on YouTube, it's also in chat. If you're otherwise, you're already listening on one of the platforms you want to listen on, then you don't need it. So, Rens, Pheylop, closing thoughts.
Excited to play the new patch, and yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun trying the new patch out. Probably like most people are gonna play on my Smurf first, and then hopefully we gain some LP on the main before everyone else knows the meta. So we'll see what happens.
I'm excited for a feast or famine week. I can't wait to be either like top 20 or Diamond 3.
Hey,
I
demotion
like it.
time.
It's a risk now, man. It's something
Yeah.
very real. I don't get to hit 0, then go get 7 like 4 times, and not demote.
Yeah. I, like not notice it because your MR is pretty irrelevant because there's not enough players.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much everyone for watching. Yeah, take care. Bye everyone.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace out.